Go through the latest from one of these organisations, our good friends at GetUp, and take a closer look tonight at GetUp's background is Advance Australia National Director Gerard Benedet. Gerard, great to have you on the show as always. I tell you what, people at home love the light we are shining on GetUp. I get a huge amount of mail from people on this issue. And I just played a little moment ago an appeal from Bernie Sanders, a message to his fellow travellers at GetUp all the way from the United States here to Australia about what he wants to see them do in an Australian election campaign. I find it extraordinary. He's the socialist king-in-chief. But I've got another package here to remind people of the sort of messages that are coming from GetUp. Let's take a look.
Democratic socialism is about is saying that it is immoral and wrong that the top 1/10 of 1% in this country own almost 90%, own almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%.
He wants America to look more like Scandinavia.
That's right. And what's wrong with that?
We also have more income and wealth inequality than any other major country on earth.
I think we should look to countries like Denmark, like Sweden and Norway and learn from what they have accomplished for their working people.
Okay, so it's not just Bernie Sanders sprouting from afar. He's actually sending workers to Australia to train GetUp staff. Have a look.
Becky Bond was the senior advisor of the Bernie's 2016 campaign.
So great to be here! Thank you for having me. I've been such a fan of what you all have been doing here.
She was the former chief economist of the Democrats on the US Senate Budget Committee and worked for Senator Sanders during the 2016 campaign to shape and define his vision of the economy for the American people. Please give a really warm welcome to Stephanie Kelton.
The reason we can't have nice things is because the deficit, the national debt. How will you pay for it? I want you to be able to confront your elected officials when they give you this line.
Give you the line that someone's got to pay for it as taxpayers? Yeah, that's the line. Gerard Benedet, I tell you what, these claims of independence by GetUp, they're absolutely false.
Absolutely, and as recently as 3 weeks ago, the Australian Electoral Commission said that they could not declare GetUp independent when GetUp claimed that the AEC said that they were independent. This Bernie Sanders footage is very revealing. He's, as you say, the chief socialist in America. He has no respect for property rights. He has no respect for merit or hard work or reward for effort. And in fact, his idea of the world is a 57% tax rate, like in some of those Scandinavian countries that he wants to make America like. And it's that same economic ideology that GetUp is pushing here in Australia.
And all the training too of activists. I mean, GetUp like to spin a line that they're a grassroots organisation. Remind me again, their membership structure is not grassroots at all.
No, absolutely not. So 12 people basically control GetUp and have, in varying numbers, had a very little committee since it formed 14 years ago. GetUp have a $6 million wages budget each and every year and over 70 staff. Those staff have been embedded in campaigns like Warringah and Dixon and many others for a long period of time. They're not just some grassroots movement that sprung up because the local street lights weren't turning on or the potholes in the road weren't fixed. It's anything but grassroots.
Yeah, well, look, let's get into some retaliatory responses from Zali Steggall on this whole issue of GetUp. I think as everyone's been exposing more and more how GetUp's been involved in the campaign of these so-called independents. They are not independents. I will not call them independents. So-called independents, chief among which is Zali Steggall in the seat of Warringah up against Tony Abbott. She's had to defend herself, and there's information that's gone out today in letterboxes right around the seat of Warringah. On one page is all the, gumph about Zali Steggall's pitch for election. A lot of it is focused heavily on climate change. But she makes the point, doesn't she? She says, Zali Steggall does not receive funding or support from GetUp. But we all know how hard GetUp has been campaigning in her seat. And I might even have a script to be able to show people at home, a script that came to us recently of calls made by GetUp. And here's the lines that go in for their workers, basically to argue against Tony Abbott explore issues like climate change? Would they consider voting independent and basically push poll or steer them into Zali Steggall? I mean, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, I reckon it is a duck, Jared.
No, absolutely, and it's the largest duck in Australian politics. There's no doubt about that. If you are accused of supporting someone, it's very easy to test. Are you going after their opposite number? We at Advance Australia are proud to put our hand up to say that we're having an impact with Get Up in Warringah. We wouldn't be there if Get Up wasn't. Does that mean we're supporting Tony Abbott? That's the consequence. Absolutely. The same standard of proof applies to Get Up and Zali Steggall, and she cannot say truthfully that she has not received support. One of her campaign managers was part of the Get Up Warringah Forum, which was talking about strategy and ideas and ways to actually run a campaign in a secret message service. There is ample proof that shows that Zali Steggall's not telling the truth.
Yeah, well, we'll keep right at this, Jared. There's a few weeks to go, but as I said to you, the more the people learn about Get Up, they realise that it's not the grassroots body or indeed independent body that it says it is. Thanks very much for your time tonight.
Pleasure.
All right.